Kia ora and welcome to Mr. Kamarama. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at what you can expect within the next 3 months. If you are new here, then welcome. I am an intuitive tarot reader and I have been providing tarot readings for other people for over 6 years now, and this is my YouTube channel where I post pick a card readings like this, and I also provide personal tarot readings and I make crystal jewelry as well, which you can find on my website, which will be in the description below. If you liked this video, then please like and don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified when I upload a new video. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, then please do drop them in the comments, because I am totally open to suggestions in terms of what type of readings you would like to see. And yeah, so in order to get your reading today, what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at the 3 symbols that are on the screen right now, and I want you to take your time and select a symbol that you feel most drawn to. And if you do feel like you don't want to make a decision because you're feeling a little bit conflicted, then you can also use a random number generator, or you can also roll a dice if you have a dice by you. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy your reading, and now I will give you some time to focus on the symbols and select your group. Welcome to your reading, group number 1. If you selected the moon symbol at the start of the video, this is your group. So I am doing a reading on what you can expect for the next 3 months from whenever you're watching this. This is a timeless reading. So this is a really interesting pile. I haven't really specified what type of area that I want to focus on. I'm being very open as to what messages come through. So for you, group number 1, I feel like the next 3 months are all about intellectual things, about clarity. I feel like it's more so to do with your career and finances, and becoming more disciplined in those sort of areas in your life. And if you are a student as well, whether you're studying something or thinking about studying something, this is definitely confirmation that this is your pile, because this is a very, I want to say cerebral pile. Like, this is a very there's a lot of thinking involved. It's not that there's no action in the next 3 months, because there is, but it's just I'm kind of getting an energy of things being very precise, things being very strategic and deliberate, and kind of being quite calculated and articulate and very intentional with what it is that you're doing. So I feel like there's a certain area that you want to really focus on for the next 3 months. So this is either studies, or this is either improving your finances and your career. And if this is definitely to do with your career, then I feel like there's definitely a very strong energy of being quite self-directed and very independent in what it is that you're doing. So I'm trying to keep this general here, because obviously this is a general reading. It's open to anyone watching this video. So it may not specifically fit your situation, but I am kind of getting a feeling of if you're working for someone else, so like if you are employed by a company, you are having a position where you are kind of independent or autonomous, and you're required to work alone a lot rather than in a collective. So maybe you have like a separate office or a separate desk, and there's like a type of seriousness that comes with your role as well. So you're either managing a team, you're like a group supervisor, you're like the duty manager on shift. I feel like whatever it is that you're doing, in terms of your work, in terms of how you make money, there definitely seems to be quite an independent energy going on to this. So if you are listening to this reading and you aren't necessarily in a higher up position with where you are in work, then I feel like that is something that possibly could be happening for you within the next 3 months. Because I'm just feeling this group, if you selected this group, you are somebody that is definitely very authentic to yourself. You are someone that is quite I don't want to say individualistic, but it's kind of like you have such a strong aura to you that you stick out wherever you go, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like you're definitely a good fit for being promoted. People see you as somebody that is responsible. You can handle responsibility, someone that has good leadership skills, good negotiation skills, and you also seem quite mature as well. Regardless of how old you are, you definitely have a very mature vibe to you. So that's kind of what I'm picking up just from kind of like looking at the overall spread and kind of like tuning into your energy group number 1. So I think for the next 3 months, you are going to be very, very focused on one specific area. I really feel like it's one specific area. I feel like you're doing a lot of other things as well, but I feel like there's just one area in your life that is your main priority and your main focus. It's not that you're not focusing on any other area of your life like health or anything like that. It's just there's something that is very, very important to you. So it's like you have your eyes on the prize. You're like gunning for a certain result or a certain position. You have certain targets that you want to hit, and they're quite ambitious. So you have to be very disciplined. You can't just do things willy-nilly. You have to be, like I said at the start of your reading group number 1, you have to be very strategic. So I think the next 3 months are kind of happening in stages or operations. So I'm seeing like month 1 is focusing on one area, or getting something sorted, and then month 2 you start the next thing, and month 3 is the other thing. So it's like in phases. I did not word that properly, so apologies for that. But let me just get into the reading so you can understand what I mean by that. So your 3 cards for the next 3 months are the Queen of Swords, the 7 of Wands, and the 2 of Pentacles. Now I think each of those cards represents month 1, month 2, and month 3. So you're starting off with Queen of Swords. This is a very focused energy. This is quite an independent energy. This is also like being laser focused and being very specific about your intentions and your goals. And there also seems to be a level of emotional removal in month 1. So it's kind of like you are shedding distractions. It's kind of like you're really focused on drowning out the outside noise. So it's kind of like anything that's happening around you, you are just kind of, you're trying to block things out so you can just really focus on one thing. So I feel like you're becoming more disciplined with what you pay attention to. And I feel like this also means that you're being more focused about minimizing your stress levels and paying attention to where your emotions go. So if you are someone that is quite easily affected by your environment, by what's going on around you, by what people are saying, then I feel like this is, the first month is that you are going to be shutting that out. And you're kind of just, it's like you're saying to yourself, no, I cannot afford to put my energy elsewhere other than where it needs to go. I cannot afford to be stressed, irritated, or have my nose in somebody else's business, So it's kind of like you're not entertaining things that are going to be draining or wasting your energy because you're being more protective of your energy. You understand that where energy goes, that is what grows. So you're just kind of like, you're not wanting to hear about everybody's business. You're not wanting to get caught up in drama. You're not wanting to engage in gossip. You're not wanting to spend too much mental energy in other places because you just don't have the capacity for it. Not if you want to meet your goals, not if you want to really hit those targets that you are setting for yourself. So it's just kind of like, it's like you're putting your brain on D&D. You're operating on D&D. You're kind of like keeping it private, keeping it low key, and keeping your energy in your lane and focused on what you are wanting to do and what you are wanting to achieve. I feel like emotional discipline is something that is going to be a focus for you as well within the first month, because I feel like you want to be more controlled with your emotions and how you respond to things. So I feel like whatever it is that you're working towards, it is going to be quite stressful. It is going to require you to overcome challenges and overcome obstacles and handle a certain amount of pressure and handle a certain amount of heat. Like I said, I feel like this is a very, very ambitious pile. Whatever it is that you are focused towards, it is something that is not necessarily easy to achieve. It's hard work to get there, and then it's hard work to keep maintaining that. So it's kind of like you're being more focused on how you respond to the pressures of what it is that you're working towards. So for instance, if it's study, if you're wanting to get certain grades, that requires a certain amount of discipline and emotional discipline. That requires you to be like on top of your responsibilities, on top of your schedule, and also to be realistic and understand that stress is just part of the game. Being stressed out, or having responsibilities or having pressure on you, this is just part of what you are doing. So instead of like freaking out when you are under pressure or snapping or breaking or, not handling stress or pressure well, you're being very much like, no, I'm going to handle this efficiently. And it's kind of like looking at like you can feel the pressure, but if you are super stressed out, it is not productive to what you're doing. Like, it's like a waste of your own energy to be so emotionally wrung out that you can't operate. So you're wanting to avoid that. So I feel like in order for you to avoid that, you are having to create systems and foundations that support your growth and support your success, and kind of like stepping stone, stepping stones to what it is that you're working towards. So you have to get compartment 1 sorted first, which is like your emotions, your focus, your intentions. And I feel like part of this as well is also having a look at your routines and adjusting your routines to better fit your goals. So yeah, spend some time working on your routines, working on your intentions as well, and get really laser focused, because once you have that intention, once you have that goal, that's when you can kind of start taking action, especially when you have like a plan, like a strategy sorted out in your head as well. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of calculation, a lot of planning that is going into the next 3 months. And it's like you can't just walk straight into it. You can't just do the thing. It's important that you put those strategies, those plans in place first. So that's your first month of your next 3 months. The second month, this is where things get a little bit heated, a little bit spicy. So this is why it is so important that you have those routines in place, you have those systems in place, you have like that clarity and that mental discipline. You have to have that on lock first, because in the second month of whatever it is that you're working towards, that is when the pressure is going to be heating up. You are going to have deadlines. You are going to have a lot of things due at the same time. You're going to have a lot of people expecting things of you at the same time. So if this is a career thing, you're going to have meetings. You're going to have people you have to do things for. You've got to have certain deadlines, you've got to have certain reports due, certain cases need to be like organized and things like that. So it's like a lot of pressure, and a lot of things that you have to juggle. And if you don't put those foundations in place first, this is where you will break, and this is where you will snap. So it's very, very, very important. I'm repeating myself for like the third or fourth time, that you have those systems in place, you have those routines in place. Another thing to be mindful of in the second month as well is competition. I feel like I've said before, this is an ambitious pile. I also feel like this is a competitive pile. You may not be outwardly competitive, but you are internally. I don't think you're necessarily competitive in a loud way, where it's very, very obvious to everyone else that you're competitive because you let everyone know that you're competitive, but it's kind of more so quiet, more internal. But people can tell you're competitive, but not because you tell everyone you are, but it's just in the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you carry yourself, and the way that you hold yourself to a certain standard. You are definitely someone that likes to be better than what you were yesterday, and you were very much on a journey of self-improvement and wanting to become a better version of yourself. So you are very, very competitive. You want to be very good at what it is that you do, regardless of what it is that you do, but not because you want to be necessarily better than everyone else. You just want to be proud of yourself and proud of your efforts, and you want to be great within yourself. However, when other people are looking at you, because you're so ambitious, because you are so driven and because you do achieve whatever it is that you set your mind to, there are definitely people that look at you as competition. There are definitely people that look at you and are jealous of you because you do make other people feel not good enough, or it's like you draw a spotlight to people where they become aware of where they are lacking. So if you are someone that works out every day, because I feel like you are, I feel like you're someone that is you're quite focused on your fitness and your health. So you're very disciplined in exercise. You like to gym, you like to walk, you like to be careful with what you eat. And I think it's more about functioning optimally, so it's like you do those things because it makes you feel your best so you can operate at your best. However, you don't mean to make other people feel shit, but you do, because you make other people be like, oh man, I need to go to the gym. I haven't gone to the gym in ages. Oh my gosh, I just ate Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast and a Frappuccino with 3,000 calories, and then this guy just pulls up next to me and he's got his meal prep going and he only drinks black coffee because it's minimal calories. You know what I mean? And it's other people look at you and they feel a little bit inadequate because they're like, man, this person is always on their game. Man, this person is always so put together. This person is always so organized. This person is they do so good in everything that it is that they do. And oh my gosh, I'm slacking, So I think you just by nature are a high achiever, and you aren't that way so you can feel better than everyone else. It's not like a superiority thing. Like I said, it's just you are in competition with yourself. But unfortunately, other people, I think, do feel a little bit jealous of you and do feel a little bit in competition with you. So just kind of be mindful of that, especially if you are in a workspace or if you are if you are in some type of area where other people could potentially sabotage you. Not to feed paranoia or anything like that, just keep that in mind. Because unfortunately, there definitely are people out there that would rather make you lose than put in the hard work themselves so that they can be as good as you, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the person who poses as a friend and is like, oh my god, let's go out tonight, let's go have some fun, drinks on me, and they get you plastered so that you're hungover, so that you bomb your presentation or something like that, so just be mindful of that, and be ready to handle that pressure in month number 2, because that is where you have to put things into practice. And I feel like in the second month it is going to be a little bit overwhelming, but it's not something that you can't handle. And I don't feel like you're going to be in an energy of being flustered. It's more so an energy of being driven and being determined. And you can feel the pressure, you can feel the heat, and you are determined to nail it. You're not buckling under the pressure. It's like you're shining underneath the pressure. And then month number 3, I feel like this is kind of where you get into a really good flow. You get into a really good, it's like your routines have become second nature to you. So I feel like in month 3, that is when you start to pick something else up, because I feel like in month 3, the priority is multitasking, balancing more than one thing at the same time, but being very good at it, because you've already got your routines established, you've already had practice, dealing with all of that pressure, meeting all of those deadlines, and you nailed it. So you know that you can handle something else, but it's not, overcommitting. It's just putting something else in your focus, focusing on something else as well, or picking something up on the side for you to focus on, but it's not something that's going to break your plate. It's something that's going to help you expand and help you grow. So this could be picking up another job. This could be picking up a side hustle. This could be, just kind of like something else that requires your time and your energy and your effort. Maybe it's even like picking up a new class or like a new sort of workout routine. Maybe you decide you want to start going to reformer Pilates or hot yoga, or if you haven't been like super strict on your diet, maybe it's you want to go on a calorie deficit or change your diet in a certain way where you cut out foods that you feel like your body is reacting to. It's something like that. It's definitely something like that. So you still have one thing that is like your main focus and your main priority, but there's just something coming around on the side that you're balancing. So yeah. Your other cards for the next 3 months are the King of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So again, I do really feel like this is really, really focused on material gain. So whether that is education, or business, because the King of Pentacles usually does represent business. It's definitely something that is directly related to your income in one way or another. I mean, I don't even think it's an argument. I think it's kind of just a fact that if you're studying towards something, if you're at university, if you've picked up a course, that is something that is directly related to your material world and your material wealth and material gain. So, yeah, I feel like this is very much the domain in which you're focused on for the next 3 months. And if you are somebody that is a content creator, or if you are an entrepreneur, if you are someone that has their own business that is currently in a side hustle sort of phase, it's passive sort of income, I feel like you're really wanting to pick up the pace a little bit and push it further and grow it further. So you want to see how much money you can make. You want to really increase your earnings. And in order to do that, it's like you have to figure out the strategies to do that, so you have to get really clever with your marketing. You have to be quite clever with your accounting and counting every penny that you spend, and every penny that you earn, and being very disciplined in that way. And if you are like an entrepreneur, if you are somebody that has their own business, you are also being very strategic in what you decide to create and what you decide to launch. So, it's not really conducive to just make and sell anything, or to just buy a whole lot of products to make something that isn't going to be worthwhile. So you're just being very efficient and very strategic about that. And I also feel like you're opening yourself up to learning, because you have the Page of Swords here. So I feel like you're drawing inspiration from successful businesses. not in a creepy copycat way, but in a way where you are looking at creators or businesses that you admire and are kind of like in a similar niche to you, and you're kind of paying attention to what are they doing, what content are they producing, what content is doing really well for them, and you're kind of like taking notes on that. But you could also be learning about how to grow on social media, maybe learning some new ways to edit content, maybe utilizing technology like new apps like CapCut, or so you're really wanting to elevate your game. You don't just want to post just anything. You don't want to just make anything. You are being very careful, very deliberate, and very strategic, because you want to put out your best work. So yeah, you're very open to learning, and I feel like you should definitely stay open to learning, no matter how experienced you are in whatever field it is. I feel like it's a great thing to always be open to new strategies, new education, new skills, new things that you can adapt and kind of put into your toolkit. And I feel like you also have the Wheel of Fortune as well, so I feel like the next 3 months are going to be very positive for you, because it feels like whatever it is that you are working towards, that is going to get better. So whatever that one main focus is for you for the next 3 months, it is going to improve. So if it is academics, if you're wanting to pick up your grades, you are definitely going to pick up your grades. You're going to do really well. If you are wanting to get a promotion at work or do better at work, that is what's going to happen for you. You are going to get noticed for your improvements, for your work, for your efficiency. If you are someone that is a content creator or someone that has their own business, you are going to improve in that area. So yeah, I think that's really, really, really positive. I really hope that this helps. I feel like this group is definitely for someone that has kind of been thinking about it. Like, I feel like the wheels are already in motion for you. This reading is really just to kind of confirm, yes, you are on the right path. Yes, you can do it, and yes, you can achieve what it is that your mind, whatever it is that you put your mind to. So yeah, the next 3 months, your final card is 3 of Wands, and this is crazy. This is definitely representative of the next 3 months, and this is about expansion. Expansion and growth is your keywords for the next 3 months. You are expanding. Whatever it is that you are focusing on, you are expanding. So whatever it is that is your focus, it's not something that you have just started. It is something that you have already been doing for a while, but you are just wanting to take it to the next level. It's kind of like you're wanting to see how far you can go with this thing. So I say go for it. You are in the right place at the right time, and I think that you were meant to hear this reading. You were meant to hear this message, and I really, really hope that this helps, and I really hope that this is encouraging for you. And yeah, if you enjoyed this reading and it resonated, please let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this style of podcast reading, then you may be interested in a personal reading from me. I offer a range of different personal readings that are sent straight to your email. I do them either written, or I can do podcast style readings as well if you'd like your own little personal podcast. So yeah, the links to my readings are in the description below. So thank you so much for clicking on this video and making it to the end of your reading, and I wish you the best for the next 3 months, and I'm excited to see what happens for you. Ka kite anō. Welcome to your reading, group number 2. If you picked the symbol of the circle / crystal ball symbol, then this is your reading. So I'm going to be taking a look at what you can expect for the next 3 months, and I've been quite open with, what comes through in this reading. So hopefully this resonates for you and you enjoy your reading. So I'm going to get straight into it. Your next 3 months is about you increasing your confidence and feeling more confident in yourself and your abilities. So I feel like over the next 3 months, you're going to be going through a internal metamorphosis. So I feel like, for group number 1, the focus was a little bit more outward, it was more so focused on things outside of themselves. But for you, group number 2, I feel like the biggest changes are happening for you internally. And the reason why I say that is because your first 2 cards are 8 of Swords and 3 of Swords. And these are not very nice cards to get alone, let alone together. So basically what this is telling me with this 8 of Swords and 3 of Swords together is that you are not being very kind to yourself, group number 2. You are not believing in yourself. You are probably having a lot of self-doubt. You are questioning your worth. You are doubting everything that you do. It's kind of like anything that you do, it's not good enough in your eyes. And I feel like maybe you might think that you're not good enough to other people, but really it's you that thinks that you're not good enough. And I feel like this definitely comes from somewhere. I don't think that you were just born thinking that you weren't good enough. I think it was something that was kind of drummed into you through your experiences, maybe through the way that you were raised. Maybe you had a particular parent or a particular adult in your life when you were a child that really nitpicked on you, criticized you, or you felt like nothing that you ever did was good enough. Like you could get a good grade at school, but if it wasn't like the top grade, then maybe, it wasn't good enough or something like that. Or, maybe you were also brought up with a lot of comparison, where people around you compared you to somebody else, or you compared yourself to somebody else, or you kind of, maybe you looked at, there was like a specific person that you would look to and you would wish that you were as good as them, or you would kind of wonder like, why do people like them and not like me? Why are they doing well and why am I not doing well when I'm doing the same thing? Like, it just seems like you carry a lot of self-criticism that was taught to you, but now I feel like, you've been so used to that growing up, group number 2, that I feel like now that's kind of, it's a part of the way that you're wired. It's like a long-term life pattern that has like persisted, and you don't want to be this way. It's horrible for you to feel this way about yourself, and I just really want to like reach through the screen and give you the biggest hug, because I feel like you could be dealing with some mental health problems as well, and You might be somebody that struggles a lot with anxiety, that struggles a lot with depression. You might also have like chronic illness as well, like fatigue. So I feel like your mental health is quite, I want to say, debilitating. It's not like this little cutesy little, oh, I'm so anxious, hee hee. Like, no, you're genuinely, you struggle. And there are days where it's like genuinely hard for you to get out of bed in the morning. It's hard for you to do the things that you want to do simple things. Like maybe you really are just focused on just surviving and on making it through the day and waking up for the next day. Like you're definitely, I feel like you're really going through it internally, and I'm sending you a lot of love. Even if I don't know you, if this resonates for you, then I'm really sorry that you're going through that. And I feel like, people say a lot of different things about mental health, and it's really frustrating because unless you've experienced how debilitating mental health can seriously be and how it can take a toll on your physical health as well and on your life, how it shapes your entire life when it's really bad, then you don't really understand from an outsider's perspective. And when you are experiencing something that is this debilitating, so I feel like when you have those type of experiences with mental health, it's very patronizing and really not helpful, when somebody is just like, have you gone outside for a walk? Have you had some water today? Maybe you just need some sunshine on your face. So I'm not gonna say that to you because I don't think that's helpful. I really don't think that is what you need to hear right now. What I think you do need to hear right now is that things will get better for you. And I also want you to know that you are good enough as you are. And I think that it is definitely time for you to stop holding yourself to such a critical standard that you are. Don't be putting so much pressure on yourself, because I feel like by adding so much pressure on yourself and by comparing yourself to other people as well, especially on social media, that's just going to continue to perpetuate the way that you're feeling. So I definitely want to encourage you to prioritize yourself over the next 3 months and do things that bring you joy. And oh my god, it can be so difficult, because I feel like if you're listening to this, I do feel like you are experiencing quite complicated mental health. And when you are in depression, it can be really, really hard to do literally anything, even the things that you enjoy. But I definitely encourage you to just try and do what you can, even if it's reading a book, even if it is just binge watching your favorite TV shows, getting yourself a little sweet treat, doing anything that can give you dopamine or make you feel comfortable and make you feel safe, and take that pressure off you, because I feel like you're also quite a sensitive person as well. So I feel like the state of the world as it is quite petrifying to think about, and I totally understand that. And I think that there is When you are somebody that struggles with mental health and you are quite sensitive in that way, there needs to be like a sort of balance between staying aware and also protecting your peace as well. Because I, just using like a personal example to kind of relay this message, but um, if I spend too much time consuming, news about what's going on around the world, especially when it's like negative. We have like the fuel crisis going on. There is the war in Gaza, which is still very, very much going on. There is a situation with Iran, and it can be very overwhelming when you consume too much of that content, and especially on social media, if you're seeing video after video, if you're seeing news headline after news headline, it can just get yourself into a position where it's like there's just all this bad news, it's all out of your control, you don't know what to do, and now you feel like scared and you feel petrified and you feel even more anxious about the future. And I feel like you're somebody that is quite empathetic, and I feel like you're also quite politically active as well. Like, I feel like this is quite a politically active and aware pile. I feel like you're somebody that really cares about social justice. You really care about representation and advocating for minorities. You're quite vocal in that sort of way. You also might be somebody that is neurodivergent, either officially diagnosed or self-diagnosed, and you kind of like understand that you are, neurodivergent, and you may be like contemplating getting a diagnosis. Those are just kind of like the vibes that I'm kind of getting from this pile and from the cards that I'm looking at, and that's why I'm really trying to be careful with how I articulate this, because I want to be sensitive. I don't want to accidentally say something that is insensitive to your situation, because like when you are somebody that is neurodivergent, when you are somebody that has really complicated health issues or mental health issues, it can be quite patronizing and not helpful when other people are making commentaries on it. I just want to say, if you resonate with this, and if this is your situation, I see you, and I'm trying to think of a way. I'm trying to think of a way to kind of articulate like my empathy towards your situation, but then at the same time I'm like trying to be really careful not to say something that, it's, I'm not going to tell you to like pick up a self-help book and read a self-help book, because sometimes that can be quite unhelpful. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be, I'm doing my best here to be like articulate, and I'm really sorry that that is your current experience. And I do really hope that the rest of these cards also resonate for you, and that these are things that do happen for you within the next 3 months. So I'm going to move on to the other parts of your reading, because I feel like the Eight of Swords and the Three of Swords is kind of where you are at now, and kind of like maybe where you have been for like a little while now. I would say maybe a couple of months. I just kind of like the term flare up popped into my mind. So you might be in a particular, like having a flare up right now, or in burnout or something like that. I just feel like you're quite exhausted and quite tender emotionally, and you desperately want things to get better. And I want to say that just by looking at these cards, I feel like there are going to be some positive improvements, especially in terms of like your health and your confidence. So the next cards that I have is the Eight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So I feel like within the next 3 months, there is something that is going to happen for you that is going to really improve your mood and confidence, and also kind of like recovery as well. So if you're in burnout, I feel like you're going to be recovering from the burnout within the next 3 months. If you're experiencing a little bit of a difficult mental health time at the moment, I feel like that's going to be improving within the next 3 months. But I feel like that there's just something that is going to kind of take place or happen for you that is quite unexpected or quite sudden, that quickly improves your situation. Because we have the Eight of Wands here, and the Eight of Wands is all about something moving very, very quickly. It's a very, very fast card, a very fast moving card. So it's wild because I'm looking at your cards, and you've got the swords cards, which are talking about like being in a really difficult position mentally, and then it's like all of a sudden something changes and you go from feeling like the Eight of Swords and the Three of Swords to feeling like the Queen of Wands. And if you are someone that is familiar with tarot, then you will be very excited to see that Queen of Wands is here, because this is a very passionate, confident, magnetic, energetic type of energy. And this is not, the Queen of Wands is not somebody that is struggling with their self-worth. They are not somebody that is struggling with how they feel or how they see themselves. This is a energy that is very, very much in their power and feeling quite, I want to use the term embodied, feeling quite embodied, feeling excited about life, feeling quite creative as well. The Queen of Wands is quite a creative individual as well, quite expressive in how she chooses to express herself as well, whether it's through fashion and accessories or colors. So I feel like there's definitely something to do with like colors here, like colors and expressing yourself. So maybe it's painting, or it's drawing, or it's dopamine decor. Like, if you've never heard of dopamine decor, it's a type of like decor in your house that is very dopamine inducing. So it's like rainbow film, disco balls, making your environment beautiful and fun and exciting, and kind of like doing things that heal your inner child and expressing your inner child now, so fun lights and games and books and like a wonderland, creating a wonderland for yourself. So maybe that's something that is going to happen for you, and something that you may feel inspired to do is, set up your environment in a way that it is like healing for your inner child, but it's fun and it's playful, and it's like, it's not big lights, it's not those big overhead lights, it's like the sunset lamp, the kaleidoscope lamps, the projector type of lights, really pretty lights, soft lighting, soft rugs, fluffy rugs, plants and crystals and things that sparkle and glitter. That's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting up with, and I feel like there's definitely some fun that is coming into your life in the next 3 months as well. So maybe you're feeling inspired to pick up a hobby again. You might be somebody that likes to scrapbook journal. Maybe you have like a reading journal. So scrapbooking, doing sort of like artsy type of things as well. Things that you're like physically creating with your hands, like very sensory related type of activities, like cutting and sticking things onto paper, or clay, or even gardening, like the feeling of putting your hands in the earth and touching plants. I'm getting a lot of like sensory related type of vibes going on. So I feel like looking at that, and doing your best to kind of create that environment for yourself, and like I said, doing whatever it is that you can, whatever it is to your capacity to kind of like give yourself a dopamine boost, because I feel like you're quite low, quite low on the dopamine and serotonin, and maybe feeling quite bleak. So I feel like I don't want to say dopamine maxing and encourage you to do anything that's like harmful to your health, but you do what you need to do to make yourself feel good and feel energized, and like come back to life again, because I feel like you're missing your spark, and you felt like you haven't had your spark for a while now. And I just want to say that based on what I'm seeing in these cards, that spark is going to be coming back. You're going to be feeling better about yourself, feeling more comfortable, feeling more confident, styling your body in like beautiful clothes and accessories, maybe playing around with some playful makeup as well, and yeah, just kind of like doing things that feel good for you, to boost your overall well-being. And I feel like you're quite a creative individual, but I'm kind of like feeling like maybe you dropped off, or you like I feel like if you're on social media burnout is so totally a thing. Like the pressure to constantly show up and produce content like you are some sort of like machine is definitely very real. So I feel like you might be somebody that is currently navigating that experience, and you might be somebody that wants to make money off your creativity. So I feel like within the next 3 months you are going to be showing back up online and having like inspiration. And something that I would encourage for you is, if you are online, and you do struggle with social media burnout, or if you are somebody that is wanting to market your creations, then I would say that you should definitely milk any bit of motivation and energy that you have. So like if you feel like a little burst of inspiration, and you feel like an itch to create, I would say like milk that. So what I mean is, like, when you feel that inspiration to make content, even if it's like you make 3 videos in one day, or you take photos, like a whole bunch of photos, so it's kind of like when you do feel that spark, really lean into that spark, and go with that spark, because I feel like once it goes, it's a lot harder to show up. So if you milk it when it's there, and you really lean into that motivation when you do have it, and that spark when you do have it, it means that when you are a little bit more low energy, or busy or overwhelmed or whatever, that you have like a stockpile of content that you can use to market your creations. Because I'm definitely picking up an energy of somebody that is like making money through their creative endeavors online as a means to support themselves extra. I'm not picking up an energy of it being your main gig. I feel like, the end goal is that you would like it to be something that is financially providing for you, but I feel like at the moment it's more so like a supplement income, something to like boost you financially. So yeah, and I feel like it's directly related to how you feel, and yeah, so I hope that kind of like helps you, and gives you the confirmation that things will be changing for you in a way where you will be feeling more confident, you will feel more energized. You do have like a little bit of a creative spark come back and creative inspiration come back, and that creative juice comes back to you, because I feel like when you are a creative individual, it goes through seasons. It's not a tap that you can just turn on and turn off at your will. I feel like it is a process on its own, and I feel like you might be in a little bit of a winter period at the moment where you're not feeling so inspired. Maybe you're having like a creativity block. So it's kind of like that wheel turning, and you going back into the season where you are feeling inspired and you are back to creating. And I feel like there's definitely some sort of success on social media through your creative endeavors, and I feel like that is something that is going to be quite helpful for you in terms of like the way that you feel about yourself. And also just, like when good things happen to you, it's awesome, and it gives you when good things happen to you, it gives you the encouragement to keep on going, so yeah, I would definitely encourage you to get out there. I don't mean physically get out there, I mean like get out there on social media, make some videos, take some photos, create some carousels, create some beautiful projects. You might be doing like a particular inspired photo shoot as well. I feel like you also, like if it's within your means to get down by the water and spend some time in nature, I feel like that will be quite helpful to you. And I don't mean that in a patronizing, like, have you been outside type of way. I mean, I just feel like there is a particular day where you might want to like go to the beach and have a beach day and maybe journal on the beach, or read at the beach, or like be by the ocean, or like paint, like have a little picnic or something, and make a day of it, and even if it's just one day in the month, that is, I feel like it's quite important for you, and it will be quite inspiring for you and quite grounding for you as well. And to really switch off from social media for a little bit as well, where you're navigating this. And I feel like avoiding doom scrolling will also be quite good for you within the next 3 months as well. So you can really prioritize your health and well-being, and I feel like creativity is quite important for you within the next 3 months. The last card that you have is the Chariot card, and this is really beautiful. This is literally just a reminder that any obstacles that you are currently facing, you can overcome. And I say that with nuance. I don't apply it to your situation in a way that it doesn't apply, I mean, if you are experiencing a little bit of a difficult period, that things will definitely get better for you. And I feel like you are definitely going to overcome any sort of like lack of motivation or lack of creativity that you're feeling, and finally be experiencing some movement forward. There also might be like some sort of trip or some sort of move or travel, something like that is quite important for you. I want to say this month, within the next month, rather than within the next 3 months. And the reason why I say that is because the 8 of Wands and the Chariot cards is all about movement and travel and, like physically moving. So that might resonate for you. And that could literally mean you like going on a road trip to somewhere nice and going to the beach and making a day of it. So that brings me to the end of your reading. I feel like, just to summarize real quickly, the next 3 months are definitely about improving your mental state, improving your motivation, and kind of like getting your creative spark back and improving your confidence as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling for you at this time, and I hope that this reading was helpful for you. If it resonated, please let me know in the comments below, and if you would like a private reading as well, I do offer those, and I will leave a link to all of my readings in the description below. But I wish you all the best, and I hope that the next 3 months, forward are so much better than the last 3 months that you have just experienced. And hopefully I will see you on another video. Ka kite anō. Welcome to your reading group number 3. If you selected the candles at the start of the video, then this is your reading for the next 3 months. So the next 3 months for you are going to be super, super, super exciting, and I feel like that there is a lot of newness that is coming into your life within the next 3 months. I would say, arguably, that this is the best pile of the group, I would say, because this is a lot of new things coming into your life, a lot of excitement, and things are genuinely changing because you're doing something new. So I feel like there's going to be a new job opportunity that comes through for you. The first card that came out was the Ace of Pentacles, and immediately this kind of resonated to me as a new job. This could also mean that you're getting a new house, like a new home, but I do mainly feel though that it is more so a new job opportunity. And I don't necessarily think that you're unemployed right now. I mean, you could be. But I feel like you could also actually be in a current job, but you get another job offer while you're still employed where you are currently, because you are going to have to make a choice, because you have the Six of Swords and you have the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is all about a little bit of indecision, not knowing kind of which option to choose, because you have two choices to choose from. I definitely feel like you are going to choose the thing that is most exciting for you. The other context in which this could apply is if you get offered 2 jobs at one time. So if you're not employed right now, and you're trying to find a job, then you might actually hear back from more than one job and have to choose which one it is that you want to take. So there's definitely choice that is coming up within the next 3 months, and I would encourage you to pick the thing that is most exciting, not necessarily the thing that is the most, I want to say, like, realistic or conventional. I feel like one of the offers is going to be quite either quite similar to what you're already doing or what you've already done, or it's kind of a role in an industry where you are quite experienced. So if you're in hospitality, it could be another hospitality job. If you're in retail, it's another retail job. If you're in admin, it's another admin job, that sort of vibe. But I feel like there is an option that is new. It's something that you are not as experienced with. Maybe it's something that you've never done before, and it is kind of scary. It's a scary choice. But I feel like you're being encouraged to take the opportunity that is exciting and take the opportunity that is new to you. Because I feel like taking the one that is new to you, whether it's a new role or a new industry or something like that, that is what is going to really push you outside of your comfort zone. And I feel like it's going to bring you a lot of excitement. Because I feel like where you are right now, or with like your current or your previous jobs, you've kind of stuck to what you've known and kind of been in similar roles. And it works well for you. You're familiar with kind of like what's expected of you, you're familiar with the type of pay that you can expect. So there's definitely like a level of security and stability with that sort of with that sort of reality. But I feel like you might be at a point now where you low-key want to try something new. You might be bored where you are right now, or maybe you've just kind of like hit hit a wall, or you've kind of like reached a point if you are employed where you're kind of like, I'm not sure if I can grow any further than what I've already grown in this place. As kind of like you've already achieved all that you could achieve in this role, or you're just kind of like looking at what would happen if you stayed in this job. And you look at your life within the next like 5 years, 10 years, that sort of thing, and you're looking at the long term future, and you're kind of seeing that there is like limited growth. And you might just kind of like in general be feeling a little bit bored and wanting something that is like a little bit more exciting and a little bit new. And I feel like you're definitely going to be given an opportunity that requires you to embrace something that is new to you, something that is kind of unknown, but it's exciting. And I feel like it could also be like a similar type of role, but it's kind of the way that the organization itself operates quite differently. So you may have previously worked in environments where it was quite like corporate, or quite strictly professional, or quite traditional in the way that like the work culture and team culture operates. But I feel like this new job, it's kind of more social, or a little bit more inclusive, a little bit more accommodating, or has like different types of, it has like a different type of culture to it. Maybe you guys are more social, or there's like a stronger emphasis on like team activities or team rewards. Maybe you're like going into a place where your lunch is paid for, or there's like a coffee machine and you can have like professional coffee, and there's like a little snack bar so you can have like a snack bar or something like that. Or maybe it's still like a corporate slash professional type of role, but it's more relaxed. Or there's just something about the culture there that is different to what you're used to. So it's a very exciting opportunity, and I feel like it will allow you to tap into like other parts of yourself that you don't really get to utilize in your current roles or in previous roles. So maybe it allows you to be more creative, or to kind of like be in a position where you are in a leadership role. You get given a little bit more authority, you get a better pay, you're kind of like respected for your knowledge and the wisdom that you bring to your role. And I feel like embracing the thing that is newer is going to really not only push you outside of your comfort zone, but it's really going to grow and nurture your skills and talents. And you have the Ace of Wands, and you have the Star card as well. So this is like, you are really going to have a really incredible 3 months. It's going to be really, really positive for you, and it comes from this new job. It's like this one job offer that is kind of very different to what you're used to. It is something that is going to be more exciting for you, and it's going to really allow you to shine. And I said before, like, utilize different talents and skills that you maybe haven't been able to use beforehand. But it's kind of like this role that you're about to step into is something that is like so aligned for you and it is so meant for you. So it may also be like a situation where it's like a dream job. You know, it's a job that you've really really wanted for a long time. It's an organization that you are familiar with. You're familiar with their work. You've wanted to be involved in their organization. You know, you've wanted to kind of like get to this point and now it's finally here for you, and it's new, and it's kind of like terrifying because you have to do things that you've never done before and it's a new environment. You got to get used to it, but it's going to be very very positive for you. And I feel like there's an element to this job as well where it feels quite natural for you, like you are a natural fit for the role. You are a natural fit for this organization. You know, you really like, you gel really well with your co-workers. It's like you're kind of like on the same page. You agree with like the vision of the business or the organization as well. Like as a collective, as the collective vision is something that you align with yourself. So it's like an organization that you are a part of and proud to be a part of. You know, you're proud to work for this company. You're really happy to work here. You're stoked. You're over the moon. You're like on a natural high from this role. So yeah, you're getting a new job and it's going to be very exciting. There's going to be perhaps like an increase in your pay. I feel like it definitely requires you to walk away from things that are no longer serving you. And, you know, this could also mean like walking away from things that you are comfortable with in order to embrace this new beginning. So being brave enough to walk away from the security and the stability that comes with sticking with what you know and what you've known for a long time, and embracing the unknown and embracing the adventure, because it'll be really really good for you, honestly. Wow, that's crazy. I just picked up my cards because I was like, I feel like I'm already at the end of the reading. The other piles were like 30 minutes long, but this one I feel like the message is quite straightforward. So I went to go pick up my cards and be like, what else, you know, can I get for you so that it's like a little bit longer. And at the bottom of the deck there is the 10 of Pentacles. So this is like really really in alignment with what I'm saying, and I feel like it really adds to what I'm saying, because I feel like in terms of your long-term future, whatever this new role is, it's in alignment with your long-term goals. So it is a company, it is a position that you can grow and expand, and you're not gonna like hit a wall. You know, there's room for expansion, there's room for growth, and there's kind of like enough within the role for you to get really good at what it is that you do, but then also at the same time to expand and to grow on what you already know, and to kind of like go up the ladder or step up into different roles or go into different roles within the organization. So it's like, it's not like you're stuck in one role in one position the whole time that you're there. There's room for you to change and grow, and I think that's quite exciting. I also feel like that there is a increase in finances with this role as well, because we have the 10 of Pentacles here. This is all about legacy and long-term investments. This is also talking about like savings, investments, building your portfolio. So I feel like this role as well is something that is going to give you the financial means to invest in things that you've wanted to invest in a long time. So maybe now you are able to, like if you're saving for a house, you're able to have more money, to put aside more money to save for a house. You have more money to put into a long-term saving fund, or to start different savings account, or to invest in like sharesies or portfolios. So like it gives you enough money to live, but then it's like you get more than that. You have and then some more, so you can, you know, have like a good quality of life. You can shop at New World instead of Pack and Save. Oh, bougie. You know what I mean? Like you can buy butter and not worry about it cutting into your money too much, you know? So it's like you have wiggle room with this financial increase. You're not only able to live, but you're able to have a good quality of life. You're able to actually fill up your tank without stressing about, you know, how much it's going to cost you. You're able to go grocery shopping without having to buy like home brand stuff or stick to a really small budget. You're able to buy like a good perfume, like a Kayali perfume, brand new. You don't have to just buy like the Emco beauty dupes anymore, you know? So it's like an increase in finances that is also leading to an upgrade or an up leveling in your lifestyle. So yeah, it's crazy. It's like this new opportunity is having a domino effect on your entire life. Wow, and I actually just went to go shuffle the cards, and I actually got the Wheel of Fortune, which is crazy. That means that this is like you are definitely going through a good luck streak within the next 3 months. Like I feel like you're about to be on cloud 9, because it's just like things are just manifesting for you. You know, you're getting your dream role, you're getting your dream job, you're in a good job, you know, your finances are improving, you're feeling good, your lifestyle is upgrading. Like you are, this is like your winning era. This is definitely the best pile, I'd say. And you also, for the last card, you have the Two of Cups. So I feel like another important element to this new offer that you're getting is meeting people at the right place at the right time. This doesn't necessarily have to be like romance. I mean, it could be romance, especially if like you're single and you're wanting to meet someone new. There's definitely a possibility for you to meet a special someone within the next 3 months. But I also feel like this could just in general be like friendships, and you know, like being in a network of people where you are on the same page, you know, meeting like-minded people that you like truly get along with, and people that, you know, you could actually be friends with, and not people that, you know, just stay strictly in the co-worker zone. You know, it's like you might meet a best friend or make a new best friend at this new job. So yeah, there's like definitely like a new connection that is coming in as a result from this new opportunity as well, that is going to be quite aligned and quite meaningful for you. So that's really exciting. I feel like I'm going to leave that here. This message is a little bit shorter than the other piles, but it is really positive and it is really straightforward, and I feel like I don't really know if there's anything else that I can really say to this, because I mean, you're in a winning era. The next 3 months are going to be awesome, and honestly, congratulations to you. This is awesome. I'm excited for you. I'm really excited for you, actually. This is very exciting. Very, very exciting stuff. Exciting news. So yeah, that kind of brings me to the end of your reading, group number 3. If this reading resonated for you, then please do let me know in the comments below. And if you would like a personal reading, I will have a link to my services in the description below. And don't forget to follow me on social media and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos as well. And hopefully I will see you in the next video, and congratulations in advance. Ka kite anō.